Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. We have so much stuff to go over today, so get comfortable, get a snack, get a drink, because this is a jam-packed episode, and it's maybe the most important episode of the entire series so far. We're going to wrap up the Major League regular season today. We're also going to go over the full minor league playoffs as well, which both our AA and AAA teams will be partaking in. But first, I do briefly want to talk about the Major League team real quick. Obviously, it has been a great season for our Baltimore Orioles as we are currently 89-61, very close to clinching the division. We have not quite done that yet, but it's only a matter of days at this point until we do, as the magic number is now 2. We are half a game behind the Twins and half a game ahead of the Astros. It has been a neck-and-neck race for the number 1 seed all year long. And today we're finally going to figure out if we can get that top seed or not. The National League is pretty interesting as well, but we're not really focused on the National League at the moment because they're not really relevant to us. So before we really go through the end of the Major League season, we're going to go through the minor league playoffs first. We're not going to really go through this episode chronologically. Rather, we're just going to focus on the minor league stuff first, and then we're going to jump into the major league stuff. So we might play like a minor league game on like October 7th, and then we'll jump backwards to where we are now and talk about the major league team. I hope that makes sense, but you'll be able to tell throughout this video. So the AA team, the Bowie Bay Sox, finished 71-49, which is the best record in the division. And this team won the championship last year. We're looking to win it again. A lot of good players on this team. Here are Xavier Bowman's final numbers for the regular season, by the way. He was a little bit disappointing, but he did some things well. 20 stolen bases, only caught stolen 3 times. His walk-to-strikeout ratio was very good, too. I would have liked to have seen the average and the power a little bit higher, but overall, he was pretty good, and the rest of the team was pretty good as well. The pitching, in my opinion, is the strong suit of this team, though. The rotation is phenomenal. The bullpen is even better. So I think if this team wins the championship, it's going to be because they are led by pitching rather than hitting. But that's not to say the lineup is bad, because the lineup, in my opinion, is very good. The AAA team, the Norfolk Tides, really started the season off slow, but we really played well down the stretch, finishing 87-55, which is also good enough not only for the best record in the division, but the number 1 seed in the AAA East Conference, and we'll be playing the wild card team, the Columbus Clippers, in the first round. Sort of like the Bay Sox, I think this team is led by their pitching, but it is a pretty talented lineup. Guys like Carmen Sixto, Zufus Polidoros, Xavier Edwards, a few really talented prospects here, but it's the rotation and the bullpen that really elevates this team. Max Meyer spent most of the year in the big leagues, but he's just not good enough to be on the major league roster at the moment, so he's going to be in AAA for the playoff run. Great rotation, loaded bullpen. There are 3 or 4 guys who are relievers on this team who I think could be consistent major leaguers starting at the beginning of next year. So we're going to simulate forward now. We're going to start with Game 1 in both series, and we lose both of them. Great. Bowie is taking on the Erie Seawolves as they lose Game 2. Luckily, Norfolk would defeat Columbus in Game 2 to tie it at 1. For every minor league playoff game that is an elimination game, we are going to simcast it. So like here in Game 3, since we're down 2-0, we're going to simcast the game. So far, so good. We're up 4-0, but we allow 3 in the bottom of the 5th. Luke Rennie is going to be taken out of the game for Obi Yoshihito, and hopefully the bullpen can help shut the doors. We're now up 5-3 after scoring a run in the 7th inning. Now we're still up 5-3 going into the 9th. Julian Starnes on for the save. He will finish it off, and the dream is still alive for the Bay Sox. Norfolk wins Game 3 as well, so they now lead 2-1, and since both teams are in elimination games, we will now simcast both of the AA and AAA games. We're going to start in AA, currently up 6-0, now 8-0. 7 shutout frames from Jeremiah Correa, and then Cosmo Cruz can hopefully finish this game off, and there you go. We win it 8-0, so now AA is going to a Game 5 in their first round of the playoffs. Norfolk is trying to finish it off here against Columbus. The score is currently 2-1. 6 strong innings from Felix Paulino, but will it be enough? The lineup has not done a whole lot today. So here we are in the bottom of the 9th. Carmen Sixto with a double. Can we drive them in? We do! Tobias Pennock with an RBI single, and we are going to extra innings. Currently tied at 3, and we would not add another run. So on to the 11th. A 3-run bomb for Tyler Freeman. Columbus scored 6 in the 11th inning. So now both series are tied at 2. In order to advance to the next round, both teams have to win today, or else their seasons will come to a close. So we're going to do the AA game first. Willie Cruz will be starting. He's more of a natural relief pitcher, but we're going to try to get a few good innings out of him, and indeed 4 hitless innings. Good work from Willie Cruz. The offense has not done a whole lot. We are up 2-0 though. Now we score 3 in the 6th to make it 5-0. Now it's 7-0. Yeah, we got this game in the bag. A 7-0 Game 5 victory here for the Bowie Bay Sox. We started this series down 2-0, but we stormed back. Gunnar Henderson went 3 for 4 of a home run and a triple. He drove in 4 runs. Obi Yoshihito hit the ball well. Xavier Bowman had a nice game, and the pitching was top-notch. So we're going to be playing the New Hampshire Fisher Cats in the championship series for a 2nd straight season. But before that, let's do the AAA Game 5 to see if they can advance to the next round. Adrian Marihon will be the starter for our Norfolk Tides as we score 3 in the bottom of the 4th. Marihon is dominating. 7 shutout frames. Now we just need the bullpen to shut the door. Good inning from Hundertwasser. Now Asuncion. And he would get a little bit, roughed up early. He allows 2, but we hold on to win it. So a great pitching performance there from Adrian Marihon to propel us to the victory. And both the AA and AAA teams have won their first series. Christian Dominguez had a home run in this game. He drove in 2 runs. Calhoun and Forbes also had RBIs as well. So the AA team will be facing New Hampshire in the AA Northeast Championship, which is the final round of the playoffs. The AAA team will be playing against the Worcester Red Sox in the AAA East Championship. The winner of the AAA East will play the winner of the AAA West in a 1-game winner goes home championship, which is kind of wild. So AA wins game 1, AAA loses game 1, and then the same result will happen in game 2. So the AA team is having no issues so far, but AAA is currently struggling, down 2-0 against Worcester. Can we pull off a comeback? We're currently down 3-2, but we scored 4 in the 7th. Now it is 6-5. Can we hold on to victory and keep this season alive? We do. A big 6-5 victory for AAA, and they're going to stay alive. AA can win the championship today, but so far DJ Watkins for the Fisher Cats is pitching really well, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. 7 scoreless frames. Will he be taken out in the 8th? He finally will, but we lose 4-0. So the AA team cannot quite end the season quite yet. Hopefully we do in game 4. We're going to start with AAA first. So far, so good. We're currently up 4-1. Felix Paulino is pitching a strong performance. The offense is hitting the ball well. Paulino pitched 8 innings in this game, and sure enough, we would finish it off by the final score of 5-3. So AAA will be going to a Game 5 to determine who wins the AAA East. And now Bowie is playing really well, but we allowed 3 in the bottom of the 6th. So it is currently tied at 4. Can the Bay Sox finish it off here? They might. Now up 5-4. We're going to go into the bottom of the 9th. Julian Starnes will enter for the save. We're going to hop in, try to finish off the AA championship right here as there's out number 1, striking out Smith on the inside fastball. Now it'll be Josh Palacios, 2-2, goes down on the curve, and the Fisher Cats are down to their final out. It looks like Julian Starnes, maybe the best relief pitcher in all of AA, is going to finish it off. Riley Adams flies this one up into right field. Charlie Denny under it, and the ball game is over. The Bowie Bay Sox have defeated the New Hampshire Fisher Cats to win their 2nd straight AA championship as the manager Joe Girardi celebrating in the dugout. A lot of the same players from last year's team helped win this championship, but there were also a lot of new faces as well. Guys like Jeremiah Jackson, Obi Yoshihito, Xavier Bowman. Bowman hit .419 in the playoffs, by the way. He was absolutely phenomenal, which is great to see. Gunnar Bergeson is your player of the game. He had a 2-run homer. Jeremiah Correa with 5 good innings. Yoshihito allowed 3 runs, but none of them were earned. They were actually because of a pair of errors from Kevin Maitan, and then the bullpen, Vodnik, Ballard, and Starnes finish it off. So there you go. The Bay Sox have won the AA championship series, and now it's time for AAA to win this Game 5 and advance to the 1-game playoff to determine the AAA champion. Adrian Marihon, who won the Game 5 in the previous series, will be our starter today here against Michael Lorenzen. And so far, so good. But they would take the lead in the top of the third. And then in the bottom half of the inning, we scored 9 runs. Yeah. So it looks like this game is kind of over. We're going to put our run reliever in, Roberto Gonzalez, just so we don't waste the arms of any of our other relievers. And we would finish it off with a 12-2 victory, and we'll be playing the Las Vegas Aviators in the AAA Championship. We had no home runs in this game. A few extra base hits, I guess, is what did the job and what led us to scoring 9 runs in that inning. So this is the AAA full-on championship. We won the AAA East. They won the AAA West. And for this game, I've decided to start Max Meyer, who has not been good in 2 AAA playoff games. His ERA is at 14. But he's the most talented pitcher on the roster, and I want to see what he can do. We would score a casual 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning, something light. But Las Vegas is going to try to make it a game. They're only down by 2 now through 4. We would take Max Meyer out of the game, and now we need our star-studded bullpen to finish it off. Now we're up 7-4. Our offense has been great today with 3 innings to go. Good inning from Hundertwasser. In the 8th inning, we're going to get Will Brooks into the game. He doesn't allow any runs. So now into the 9th inning, it'll be the closer, Hideki Asuncion, in for the save. Can he finish it off and win the AAA team the championship? As the first play of the inning is a grounder to short. Nice play by Xavier Edwards to get the first out of the inning. And Norfolk is 2 outs away. Miguel Amaya is now up at the plate. He grounds this one to short as well. Edwards, the throw to first, is in time. And the Norfolk Tides are now 1 out away from winning the AAA championship. It's down to Logan Davidson, who weakly flies this one into shallow center. Dominguez under it, and the Orioles farm system has doubled down on championships. The AA Bowie Bay Sox and the AAA Norfolk Tides have won their championship series. The Tides were not a very good team last year, despite being super talented. They started the year off slow this year, but they really played well the final few months of the year. And despite a few close calls in the playoffs, they were able to win the championship. I want to point out that both the AA and the AAA teams had playoff series in which they were down 2-0 at one point, came back and won, and ended up winning their championships. So we're now going to go back in time about 2 weeks and bring our focus back to the Major League squad. I simulated the first series against the Oakland Athletics. We took 2 of 3, and now that we're 91-62, we have officially clinched the division, and our Baltimore Orioles are finally going to be in the playoffs for the first time in this series, which is absolutely great. We knew it was going to happen. It was only a matter of time, but I'm happy it's official. We're now going to simulate the series against the Toronto Blue Jays, and they swept us. I can't remember the last time we've gotten swept. So now we're 91-65 with 6 games left to go in the season. The Minnesota Twins are 92-65. The Astros are 93-65. So we're currently the 3 seed, but we are within 1 game of both Minnesota and Houston. The lineup is looking strong. The team is fully healthy. Going into our final 6 games of the year, we have a 3-game set on the road against the New York Yankees, and then 3 games at home against the Boston Red Sox. So no matter what, we're going to be one of the top 3 seeds, but I would rather not play Minnesota or Houston in the first round of the playoffs. So this is our most important 6 games of the entire season. The Yankees, by the way, are 1 game away from being eliminated, so their backs are literally against the wall. If they lose this game today, they're done. So this is the first game of the Yankee series. The Yankees are down to their final straw. They're 79-77. They need to win out, and they need a lot of things to happen in order to make the playoffs. The Baltimore Orioles have already clinched a playoff spot. They've also clinched the division, but they are currently playing to try to get the top seed. So Baltimore still has a lot to play for with 6 games left in the year. Baltimore wants to put their best foot forward, so they're going to start all of their regular starters today. The Yankees will as well. Domingo Germán will be on the mound for New York in this one. His 32nd start of the year. 10-8, 4.91 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Not terrible, but I wouldn't really say that's good either. The ERA is certainly a little bit higher than you would hope for. Adley Rutschman will be leading things off today for Baltimore, trying to start this game off with a bang. That one is a no-doubter into the second deck. Now, I will say that's not a second deck home run at any other stadium other than Yankee Stadium, but hey, it still went in the second deck. Great home run for Rutschman, and the Orioles are already on the board. They will take a 1-0 lead. Very quick start to the inning there for Adley Rutschman and company. 2 away now for Anthony Rizzo. That one will deflect off of Herman, and that will be a single. Herman is a little bit banged up after getting hit by the ball. He knows a thing or two about hitting. I'm sorry, that was an uncalled for joke. If you get it, you get it. That'll bring up Jalen Miller now as he's going to go oppo-popo into right. That one's going to drop fair in front of the foul pole. If Rizzo was a little bit faster, he probably could have scored. But nonetheless, the Orioles now have 2 runners in scoring position. A major opportunity for the rookie Elliot Ramos to drive in a couple runs and extend this lead. And that's exactly what he would do. Ripping that one past the shortstop Ordonez. Rizzo scores. Miller's going to try to score, and he is safe. That was a gutsy decision by Jalen Miller to try to score, but he trusted his speed, and it paid off because the throw from the left fielder was offline. We're going to move into the top of the second now. Marco Luciano leading things off as he grounds that one past the glove of Herman for a single into center field. After a big first inning, it looks like the Orioles are clearly not done yet as they want to add to this lead as much as possible. They don't want some close game where they have to worry. They just want to blow these guys out and end their season. Ryan Mountcastle will get that one to bounce in front of the wall. Luciano decides to stay at third. Interesting decision, but since there's no outs, there's a strong chance he's going to score anyway, so there's no need to really risk it. Maybe if there was 2 outs, he would have gone home. That'll bring up Adley Rutschman, who had the home run earlier in the game. This one will stay in the ballpark, and it'll be a grounder to first, as the first baseman Voigt will throw it to Herman, who tags the base, but the runner does score, and the Orioles now lead it 4-0. That'll bring up Max Muncy. Mountcastle did advance to third, by the way, so a grounder or sac fly should score him. And that's probably what's going to happen, as this one is flown up into center field. That is more than enough room for Ryan Mountcastle to easily score, and the Baltimore Orioles will make it 5-0. Okay, he didn't score that easily, but he did. Eduardo Rodriguez is the starter today for the Orioles. He's been about as average as you can be. 4.35 ERA, 1.34 whip, 9-9 record. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been good. He's just been there. Facing off against the shortstop Ian Ordonez, as that one is grounded by Rodriguez. Jalen Miller trying to make the play in time, but he is safe. Good hustle from Ordonez, and that'll get the Yankees a 2-out base runner for Giancarlo Stanton, who swings and misses at the outside fastball. Nice pitch from Rodriguez. So far, so good here through 2 innings. The Orioles definitely look like they're a team who's playing for something right now. On to the top of the third. Anthony Rizzo lines this one into right, and it is gone. Again, if this was any other stadium, that would stay in the ballpark. But hey, a home run is a home run. Rizzo had 13 dingers with the Cubs during the trade deadline once he got moved. And now in his 2 months with the Orioles, he has added 13 more to put him at 26 on the season. At this point, Aaron Boone would take Domingo Herman out of the game. Didn't even make it through 3 innings. He was not very good in this game. Garrett Richards, the long reliever, will enter, try to salvage this game for the Yankees. But they are not looking good at the moment. Currently down 6-0. Now there are 2 on and 2 out here for Ryan Mountcastle, who scored in the previous inning. That one's going to get by Richards for a single into center. And the bases will be loaded. The runner at third, I believe that is Elliot Ramos, decided not to go home. Interesting call. So now the bases are juiced for Adley Rutschman. He's going to draw a walk. Good discipline from Rutschman. That'll score a run. And the Orioles will now lead this game 7-0. The bases are still loaded for Max Muncy, who had a sac fly in his previous at-bat. And the pitch is going to hit him, but he checked the swing for strike 3, and that'll end the inning. That would have scored a run. Now, the Orioles still lead 7-0, but still, that was a potentially wasted opportunity. Into the bottom of the third, Gary Sanchez grounds this one to Jalen Miller. The throw to first is offline. Rizzo has to go off the bag, and now the Orioles are starting to look a little bit sloppy. I think they feel a little bit comfortable with this 7-0 lead, and in baseball, you can never get too comfortable, as the very next batter, Clint Frazier, will go deep into shallow left field, and the Yankees are on the board as it is now 7-2. Again, that home run scraped over the fence. It would not have been gone anywhere else, but a home run is a home run at the end of the day. Jason Dominguez goes down on the cutter. Eduardo Rodriguez needed that one badly after allowing the first 4 to reach base. Speaking of the fourth, that's the inning we're now in. Jalen Miller goes down on the low slider, and that is the first inning today in which the Orioles do not score any runs. One of the bottom of the fourth inning, it's DJ LeMahieu leading things off. That one is gone into the right center seats, and the Yankees bring it within 4. I think New York is not done fighting. They know their backs are as close to the wall as you can get. Remember, if they lose, they're done. Gary Sanchez singles into right, so now there are 2 runners on base with 1 out. And after a really strong start to the game, Eduardo Rodriguez is now getting rocked. Clint Frazier rips that one into center for a single. Louis St. John trips on himself. Louis St. John needs to get his head in the game. He has not been himself lately, and he needs to figure some things out, or else, I'm not sure, things could get a little bit ugly in that area. Jerome Driscoll now rips that one into left. That's going to score another run, and the Yankees will now make it 7-5. Good throw in left from Ramos, but the runner at third is safe. But New York has brought this lead down to 2, and at this point, the Orioles cannot rationalize keeping Eduardo Rodriguez in the game because the past 2 innings have been really rough. So manager Carlos Feebles will take him out of the game, and it'll be Felix Rosa who enters. Rosa has been flawless this year. In 13 1/3 innings, he has allowed 0 runs. He was just called up as a September call-up, but he has played himself onto the playoff roster. That's how good he has been. First batter he faces is Jason Dominguez, who singles into right, and the Yankees now make it 7-6. This game was just 7-0 a few minutes ago, and now New York has brought it within 1. Gleyber Torres swings and misses. The Yankees are going to go for the double steal, and Rutschman will get the runner out at second. I don't know why he didn't throw it to third, but it doesn't really matter. Gleyber Torres would strike out on the next pitch. So the Orioles get out of the jam. Shout out to Felix Rosa. But the Yankees scored 4 runs, and they have made this a ball game, as it is now 7-6. Bottom of the 5th inning. First batter of the inning is Luke Voit, and he's going to tie it if it's gone, and it is. Luke Voit with a solo home run. That is the first earned run allowed all year by Felix Rosa, and the Orioles have officially choked a 7-0 lead. This game is now tied at 7. DJ LeMahieu, the next batter, singles into center field, and the Yankees are on fire right now. This team looked out of it the first couple of innings. Now they look like they're playing for their lives. The Orioles will turn a slick double play to end the inning, but still, you cannot choke a 7-0 lead when you have 6 games left in the season and need all the wins you can get in order to be the number 1 seed. Jonathan Loaizaga is in for New York here in the top of the 6th. His first batter is Ryan Mountcastle, who launches this one into left center field, and that ball is gone. The Orioles will take the lead right back. Mountcastle, his 20th home run of the season, he has been really good in this game, and I give Mountcastle a ton of credit. He really struggled early in this season, but he's been on fire the past month or 2. He has really turned the ship. He's hitting like 300 now. Things are really going his way. Adley Rutschman would draw a walk. That brings up Max Muncy, and that one is a no-doubter. 2-run blast for Muncy, and the Orioles all of a sudden now lead 10-7. This has been the game of the year so far. Holy smokes. Jonathan Loaizaga faced 3 batters today. They all scored, and he's going to be taken out of the game for Luis Cessa, who has not had a good year. 6.95 ERA. Going to try to get out of this inning as Jalen Miller grounds it to short. Ordonez to LeMahieu to Voit. And the Yankees do turn the 6-4-3 double play. They get out of the inning, but the Orioles score 3 and take the lead right back as it's 10-7. Felix Rosa is still in, as there's a nice defensive play by Jalen Miller with the leaping grab, showing off the bunnies there. That will bring up Jerome Driscoll now with 2 outs. He's going to fly this one out to center. Louis St. John will make the play, and that'll end this one for Felix Rosa. 2 2/3 innings. He allowed 1 earned run. He kind of started off slow, but he retired the final 6 batters. Overall, a pretty good performance. Now on to the 7th. Ryan Mountcastle is up. He is 3 for 3 today, triple shy of the cycle. That one has a chance at the wall. It is caught. So Ryan Mountcastle's, I guess, somewhat perfect game will come to a close as Clint Frazier makes the play, and we will now go into the bottom of the 7th. Good work from Luis Cessa, who pitched 2 very strong innings. Alex Colomé is in for Baltimore, his 79th appearance of the year, made the All-Star team this season. He hasn't been as good the second half of the year, but he's still been pretty good as he gets Luke Voit to go down on the outside cutter. Colomé would field the ball cleanly to get the out at first. And that 7th inning was the first inning all day that neither team scored a run. Pretty wild. On to the 8th, it'll be the veteran Steve Cishek in for New York. 4.62 ERA in 65 appearances. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't necessarily been great either. Facing off against Adley Rutschman, who's reached base 3 times today. Why not make it a 4th? I said this in the last episode. Death, taxes, and multi-hit games from Adley Rutschman. Rutschman is now 2 for 3 with a single, a home run, 2 walks, and I think he's driven in 3 runs. So he has done literally everything today. Anthony Rizzo with 2 away would ground this one out to second, so Adley Rutschman's hit doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Good inning of work from Cishek, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. Colomé still in as he gets DJ LeMahieu to go down on the outside cutter again. That pitch is absolutely filthy. 2 away for Giancarlo Stanton. See ya! Goes down on the changeup. 2 strikeouts there in the 8th inning for Colomé, and Baltimore is now 1 inning away of sealing the Yankees' playoff fate and eliminating them. Christian Robinson up, hasn't done much today. He's 0 for 4. Might make it 0 for 5 unless he beats out the throw, which he does. That was a good play by Ordonez, but Christian Robinson's just too fast, so he's going to get the infield single. That'll bring up Marco Luciano. That one's going to go into right, and that one's going to get stuck in the corner. Robinson headed home. The throw from the cutoff man is in time by a mile. Christian Robinson decided to be gutsy, and it definitely did not work. So the score remains 10-7. We will go into the bottom of the 9th, where the closer, Taylor Rogers, will try to finish this one off. Rogers is 40 for 45 in save opportunities this season. He's been one of the best relievers in baseball, and well worth the contract he received from Baltimore this offseason. Gary Sanchez starts the inning striking out on the sweeping curve. Taylor Rogers has some nasty breaking balls. Showed it there. 2 away now for Driscoll. This one's going to be flown into left. Ramos makes the play, and the Orioles win it 10-7. An incredible ball game featuring a lot of offense, but neither team scored after the top of the 6th inning, which is kind of wild. At a game at Yankee Stadium, it's pretty typical to see a lot of home runs, especially home runs that wouldn't be gone at any other park. And, well, today was no different. Had this been played at anywhere else, I think the game would have been a lot low scoring, but the home runs made things interesting. Mountcastle, Rizzo, Muncy. Yeah, his name is Muncy. Muncy and Rutschman all went deep today for Baltimore. They all drove in runs along with Elliot Ramos. The bullpen did really good in this game. Rosa was impressive. Colomé did his thing. Taylor Rogers got another save despite his pretty shaky start from Rodriguez. The Yankees hit the ball well too. 7 runs, 10 hits, home runs for Voit, LeMahieu, and Frazier. But their pitching, specifically Domingo Irman as the starter, was not all that good. So I simulated up to the final game of the season. We ended up sweeping the Yankees, but we lost the first 2 against Boston. So we're 94-67. And looking at the rest of the standings, the Twins finished 94-68. The Astros finished 95-67. So this last game is really important. With a win, we could go up to the 1 seed. With a loss, we could go down to the 3 seed. So even with 1 game left to go, we could still be anywhere from 1 to 3 in our final seeding. So this game is super important. We have to win to keep our hopes of being the number 1 seed alive. If we lose this game, we're guaranteed to play the Twins in the first round, whether we're the 2 seed or they're the 2 seed. If we win, we could jump Houston and become number 1. The Orioles are doing some experimenting today. Louis St. John's going to lead off, and the starting pitcher will be Travis Lakins. So what the Orioles' strategy here is, they don't really trust their starters. They're going to have the bullpen pitch the entire game today. Lakins is hopefully going to go 2 or 3 innings strong, and the Orioles are going to use a majority of their relievers to try to get this win because they trust their bullpen more than Eduardo Rodriguez, who was the scheduled starter for today's game. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Lakins in the top of the first. He would strike out Xander Bogaerts on the curveball. And now we go into the bottom half of the first inning. It's going to be a tall task for the Baltimore lineup today as they face off against the veteran left-hander Chris Sale. Now, the Red Sox season is obviously over. They're out of the playoffs, but this is a nice audition here for Chris Sale. He's on the final year of his contract next season, and since the Red Sox are rebuilding, maybe they're going to want to trade him. Louis St. John starts with a strikeout. He has still really struggled the past few weeks. He needs to get his head in the game. I don't know what the deal has been with him, but he seems overwhelmed by the moment, which is odd because he's been so good throughout the rest of the season. couple batters later, it's Adley Rutschman who's going to try to leg out a double. Adley Rutschman before that at bat was hitting .315 on the season, so he's definitely going to pass his career high in batting average, which I think was .300 from a year ago. Elliot Ramos will strike out, so the double from Adley won't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Good inning from Chris Sale. Neither team would score in the first or second inning, so we're going to jump into the third. Travis Lakins is still in for what will probably be his final inning, if he even makes it out, as Bobby Dahlbeck will hit that one into left, over the fence for a solo home run, and the Boston Red Sox are on the board. They will take a 1-0 lead. Dahlbeck with his 10th of the year, and the Orioles would proceed to make a pitching change after that, as Kenyon Middleton will enter, Baltimore hoping to probably get 2 innings out of him. He would go through the order pretty easily, striking out the catcher, Ronaldo Hernandez, on a nice inside pitch, and we go to the bottom of the third. Ivan Cortez Jr. goes for the drag bunt, but look at the barehanded throw by Rafael Devers. Oh my goodness, what a defensive play. Devers is a free agent at the end of the year. He had a great season for Boston, and he's going to command a lot of money. That'll bring up Louis St. John, who hits that one nicely into center. It is gone. Louis St. John with a solo shot. I think it's fair to say he's probably got his head back in the game. St. John's first home run since his injury he suffered a few weeks ago, and the Baltimore Orioles will tie it at 1. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come for Louis St. John. Hopefully he's now ready for the playoffs, and hopefully he can be a big piece to this team, hopefully winning some playoff games this year. On to the fourth, as it'll be Alex Verdugo drawing a walk to start the inning. Xander Bogaerts is going to loft this one into left field. That'll go for a hit. So Boston starts feeding off, getting a couple early base runners. You have to think that the Orioles are probably going to make a pitching change soon, or right now. Rafael Devers goes oppo-poppo, 3-run blast into left field, his 37th of the year, and the Boston Red Sox are going to take a 4-1 lead. So Felix Rosa would enter the game for Middleton, and he would get out of the inning pretty easily. Rosa has more stamina than most of these Orioles relievers, so Baltimore is going to try to get at least 2 innings out of them. On to the bottom of the 5th inning now. The score remains 4-1. Chris Sale is still in for Boston as Marco Luciano opens up the inning with a single. Other than the home run by LSJ earlier, the Orioles lineup has not done a whole lot, but maybe they can get some momentum here as it's Yermin Mercedes deep in the left field, and it is gone! 2-run shot for the Yerminator, his 16th of the year, and the Orioles are going to try to make things interesting. They cut it within 1, as it is now 4-3. Baltimore is definitely back in this game. Christian Robinson now up at the dish. He's going to line that one over the head of the first baseman Dahlbeck for a single into right. Big hit for Robinson, and now it seems like Baltimore's lineup has really figured some things out. After a mound meeting, that'll bring up Ivan Cortez Jr., who weakly hits this one into left, and it will drop for a hit. The Orioles now have 2 of their fastest base runners on in Robinson and Cortez, and there are nobody out, so a major opportunity here for the top of the order to do some damage. Louis St. John now up at the plate. He homered in his last at-bat, and he's going to draw a walk. Very good discipline. That was a tough pitch to lay off. Now Louis St. John seems a lot more focused at the plate, which is really good. So the bases are now loaded here for Max Muncy, who hits that one high and somewhat deep into right center. Actually, not really that deep. Verdugo with the grab. The throw home is just not in time. Christian Robinson will score, and the Baltimore Orioles will tie the game up at 4. 2 on, 2 outs now for Elliot Ramos. He hits that one pretty nicely into right, but it will be caught. The Orioles score 3 in that inning to tie it at 4, and with 4 innings to go, this is anybody's ball game. Let's go into the 6th inning now. Felix Rosa is going to be taken out of the game for Colin Poche, his 30th appearance of the year, facing off against Rafael Devers, early lefty-on-lefty crime, as look at this throw by Jalen Miller to get the out. Now, he didn't really need to be dramatic there, but hey, that was a pretty cool play. I'll give Miller his credit. J.D. Martinez now swinging this on the curveball. Good inning of work from Colin Poche, who's been really underrated this year. He's been super good out of the bullpen for Baltimore. Bottom of the 6th, Marco Luciano again with a hit. He started for Rowley last inning, so it's good to see him getting another hit here. And the Red Sox are going to take Chris Sale out of the game after that, as it'll be Matthew Boyd who enters, facing off against the Yerminator, who had the home run earlier, goes down on the sweeping curve. That's just a nasty pitch. You can't really get mad at Mercedes. That's just absolutely filthy from Boyd. Top 7, Bobby Dalbec goes down looking. Another good inning here from Colin Poche. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Louis St. John with a blast into left field and a bat flip. I think it's fair to say this young man is back. Louis St. John with his second home run of the day. Unlike his first one, that was a no-doubter. That might be the biggest hit in this entire series so far, as the Orioles now take a 5-4 lead. Their first lead since, all day. This is the first time they've been up. He's going to flex the bicep. The dugout is rightfully fired up. They know how important this game is, and they know how important that hit was. Just a beautiful swing. That was a no-doubter. As soon as it hit his bat, he knew it. He's showing off the swag. 410 feet. We got to get another look at that swing again. Man, just an absolute beauty. I wasn't sure if Louis St. John was ready for the playoffs, but I think today has given us our answer. Max Muncy is now up. Tried to hit it towards third base to play off the shift. Instead, it goes into center. Muncy rounding first, headed to second. Really heads-up base running there by Max Muncy to get the double. Now the Orioles get themselves an early runner in scoring position. That'll bring up the catcher, Adley Rutschman. Full count pitch, and he hits this one high and pretty deep in the left center field. That one's going to drop. Muncy wanted to make sure it wasn't caught, so he decided to run late. Muncy going home, but he's going to retreat back to third. Again, very smart base running by Max Muncy. No need to risk it with nobody out, and he would have been out by a mile. So now there are 2-1, no out, and the Orioles are going to force Boyd out of the game, as Boston will send Austin Bryce, the righty, in to get out of the jam. As it'll be Elliot Ramos, his first batter, singling into right center field. Muncy will score. Rutschman headed to third, and Baltimore will now make it 6-4. Big hit from Ramos. He is pumped up at first base, and the Orioles are on fire right now. Marco Luciano now flies this one into center. Verdugo makes the play. Rutschman is going to go home. The throw from Verdugo is in time. Part-time ball player, full-time sniper. Verdugo turns the double play. We know he is a cannon for an arm, but Adley trusted his legs a little bit too much. Still a very good inning. The Orioles still score 2 and have a 6-4 lead going into the 8th. Edwin Diaz is in for Baltimore. Now has an ERA at 1.59. He has been the best reliever in baseball this season. Want to see a magic trick? Well, there's part 1. He strikes out Whit Merrifield going down looking. Verdugo swinging a miss on the four-seam fastball. There's part 2. You want to see part 3 against Xander Bogaerts, one of the best hitters in baseball. Boom! Goes down on the low slider. The trifecta for Edwin Diaz, striking out all 3 batters. What an unbelievably good regular season he has had. On to the bottom of the 8th, it'll be James Pazos in for the Red Sox. He's had a pretty good year, and he also has a pretty good stash, and he has a sick blue glove, as Christian Robinson is going to hit that one into left field for a hit. Baltimore's lineup could not hit the ball at all the first 4 innings, and now they are on fire. Liam Bumaye is now up as a pinch hitter, substitution for Ivan Cortez Jr. as that one goes into right, and Hunter Renfroe makes a ridiculous grab. So Louis St. John was the next batter up, and Boston's going to make a strategic pitching change, putting Carl Edwards Jr. in. They don't want a lefty out there against Louis St. John, and to be honest, I can't really blame them because LSJ mashes against lefties. As this one will be grounded to second. Whit Merrifield should have tried to get the out at first. Instead, he goes to second. Now, Robinson is still out, but barely. So Boston gets the out nonetheless. It doesn't really matter. Now we go into the 9th. Taylor Rogers is in for his 44th save of the season. Can the Orioles finish it off? Well, Rafael Devers is not going to make it easy as he will single into left field. Devers is playing for a new contract. He's going to get paid the big bucks by somebody this offseason, and deservedly so. J.D. Martinez strikes out. So the tying run is up at the plate, but there's a force out at second. Double play could end the game. Reynolds grounds it to Miller, to Marco, to Rizzo. 4-6-3 double play. The Orioles win it. Final score 6-4. What a game, and what a way to finish for regular season. The Baltimore Orioles will finish 95-67, tying themselves with the Houston Astros for the #1 record of the American League. Before we determine Baltimore's final seeding, which will be either 1 or 2, let's take a look at the box score here for Game 162. I give the Red Sox a lot of credit. Their season has been done for like 2 months, but they gave us a tough task here, but it was not enough. Major shout out to Louis St. John. He goes 2 for 4 with 2 home runs, including the decisive one in the 7th. And I think that home run, that second home run, is the biggest play of this entire franchise series so far. I really do, because that home run might have single-handedly given us the 1 seed. So now it's time for a moment of truth. We are going to simulate forward. Will Baltimore play Minnesota as the 2 seed, or will they get the 1 seed? Bang! We're playing the winner of the wild card game. Baltimore officially clinches the number 1 seed in the American League. So winning that game directly gave us the top seed in the AL, which is totally awesome. Minnesota finished 1 game behind us. The Astros tied with us, but I guess we probably held the head-to-head tiebreaker over Houston. That Field of Dreams game literally determined the 1 seed in the AL. The wild cards are the White Sox and Cleveland, so we will play the winner of that game in the ALDS. In the National League, the Braves, Cardinals, and Dodgers all won their divisions. The Cubs got the first wild card. The Giants and Mets played a game 163 to determine the second wild card, which the Giants ended up winning. So San Francisco's season is still alive, and the Mets are done. So I'm going to simcast the AL wild card game. We technically have to user the White Sox. Doesn't really matter which team we user. Shane Bieber facing off against Lucas Giolito. It's back and forth, but Chicago scores 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. So barring some crazy collapse, oh dear, they allowed 4. Okay, the Indians are not out of it. Now it is 7-5. Liam Hendricks is on for the save, and he's going to finish it off. So we will officially play the Chicago White Sox in the first round of the playoffs. They had 7 runs, 8 hits, 2 home runs in this game for Tim Anderson, and a great pitching performance from Lucas Giolito. Cody Hewer allowed 4, but the White Sox still ended up winning it. The Giants beat the Cubs in their wild card game, by the way. So here's a look at this White Sox team. They have former Orioles Starling Marte. A lot of star power in this lineup. Guys like Tim Anderson, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert. Lucas Giolito headlines for rotation. They also have guys like Carlos Rodon, Spencer Turnbull, and a pretty good bullpen led by Aaron Bummer and the all-star Liam Hendricks. So now that we're in the playoffs, we have to determine who's going to be on our playoff roster. For whatever reason, Grayson Rodriguez, Felix Rosa, and Ivan Cortez Jr. were down in AAA. We're going to call them back up because I want them on the playoff team. The game called up Adrian Almeida, Aristides Aquino, and Reynaldo Lopez for us, but I don't want those guys on the playoff roster. I also sent down Sir Anthony Dominguez and Cesar Mara to single A. I don't really trust either of them. So there you go. We have chosen our 26 players who will be on the playoff roster. I'm pretty sure we can still call guys up from the minors if we have an injury, which certainly could happen. We'll see. But that'll end today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a pretty good one. We won the AA championship, we won the AAA championship, and the Orioles clinched for 1 seed of the American League. Next episode, we will start the playoffs. I'm probably going to do both games 1 and 2 against the White Sox. It will be a YouTube premiere probably this Saturday. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Hope you guys are excited. Peace out.